It's Andre Onana back in possession inside his own 18-yard box for Manchester United. It's been a pretty solid pre-season for the Cameroonian international, as he looks to begin his second season in between the posts at Old Trafford, and a good few players in this Manchester United team who've had a relatively quiet summer. Marcus Rashford, of course, omitted from the England squad for Euro 2024. No international duty for Harry Maguire either. Casemiro's had a break. He wasn't called up for the Copa America with Brazil. There's Casemiro again, just looking to pick possession up centrally, deep inside his own half from Evans and Maguire. Sandro Martinez already pushed up high from his left-back position, slotting in there after an injury-disrupted end to the domestic season. He was fit enough, of course, for Argentina duty, but he's back in club action now. Here is Onana. Quiet start from both teams here, looking to just get themselves a foothold in the game. Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire have seen more of the ball than anybody so far. Here is Maguire again, back on the edge of his own box. He forced backwards there by the hustle and bustle of James McAtee. Plenty to be excited about in this Manchester City lineup. There's a couple of names that might not be immediately familiar. Rico Lewis and Oscar Bobb, of course, have established themselves in Pep Guardiola's first team plans. James McAtee, back from 2 seasons away on loan at Sheffield United. Their relegation meant that he requested to rejoin City and have another crack at Premier League football. But the big point of interest is Nico O'Reilly, 19-year-old academy graduate. This is his senior competitive debut for City. Been ever present during pre-season, started all 4 games. It's been mirrored by McAtee, Bobb and of course Erling Haaland. Another player on that list of no international duty this summer. Norway not qualifying for Euro 2024, so he's been rested, so he can be back to full power for Manchester City. Here is Rico Lewis, just steps over the halfway line from the right back position for Manchester City, forced in field though by Marcus Rashford. Rashford happy to drift out into that left hand side attacking position to let Fernandes and Mason Mount operate centrally when needed. So good switch over to the left to Jeremy Doku, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. Good work there off the ball from Manchester United, and Ahmed Diallo did well just to force an error from Manchester City, but the ball forward cut out by Josko Gvardiol. Here's Mateo Kovacic, just on the edge of the centre circle inside the Manchester City half of the field. Comes to this near right hand side on the halfway line for Oscar Bobb. Long switch forward for City, from right to left, looking to bring Jeremy Doku into the game on the touchline, but that's a loose bit of control from him. Belgium giving away possession, but Ahmed Diallo can't keep it in play. He'll throw in to Manchester City on the left hand side, just inside the United half of the field, in front of Messrs Guardiola and Ten Hag. Two very different styles for the managers today. Erik Ten Hag suited and booted, Pep Guardiola wearing something befitting what is a very hot and humid day here in the capital. And both of them out on the edge of the technical areas, barking instructions at their team. And Nico O'Reilly's been chased inside the centre circle there by Kobbie Mainoo. Last season was, of course, a breakthrough campaign for him at Old Trafford. O'Reilly will be hoping for similar at Manchester City if he is afforded an opportunity this season. It's a crowded area of the squad for Pep Guardiola, but he's received plenty of praise in pre-season from the City fans who travelled to America and from Guardiola himself. He's ready for the challenge of being a first team player. Exactly how regular that will mean is obviously still to be decided. Here's Gvardiol, forward from left back, just inside the Manchester United half. Again, good pressure there out wide. This time from Mason Mount. And referee Jared Gile goes for a foul on halfway. Mount just a little bit too keen to win back possession there. It's a free kick to City. Here's Manuel Akanji. Just plays that square into the Manchester United half. Rico Lewis stepping in off that right-hand touchline, but he's squeezed immediately by Mainoo and Rashford. City looking to peel a bit of possession though, and switching over to the far left-hand side. Doku will stretch on towards the 18-yard box, tries to go one-on-one with Dalot, gets past him, but Dalot did really well to recover there. Gets back, wins possession, but it's a poor ball forward. He tried to spring Marcus Rashford in behind, and Lewis just can't find Docker with the return ball. The City players were pleading for a throw-in in their favour there, but it goes in the opposite direction. Diogo Dalot will come forward to take. Interesting to see if either Guardiola or Erik ten Hag will make any further moves in the summer transfer window. It's been some rough luck for Erik ten Hag. The signing of Lenny Yoro, of course, from Lille back in July. He's expected to be sidelined through injury until at least the end of October, but City have done well there to build some possession on the edge of the box. Good smart defending there from Johnny Evans as Haaland tried to slip it off to the rampaging Nico O'Reilly. Bruno Fernandes tried to play that through the lines on halfway, but Mateo Kovacic gets there first. Harry Maguire will go long this time, trying to release Marcus Rashford in down that left channel for Manchester United, but it's poor touch from the Manchester United number 10. He'll throw in to City, just level with their own 18-yard line. Rico Lewis takes it quickly to Manuel Akanji. Just switching back to that transfer news, Lenny Yoro out injured. Joshua Zirkzee is on the bench for United today. Possibly could see a competitive debut from him in this game. Pep Guardiola has confirmed that Julian Alvarez is on the verge of a move to Atletico Madrid in the coming days. The Argentinian looking for a new challenge away from Manchester. And there's the opportunity for a possible replacement being signed. Rico Lewis tries to burst into the box there. Just got the wrong side of Marcus Rashford, and Rashford forced to concede the first corner of the game. Good work there from Rico Lewis, raiding forward from right back, and credit to Rashford as well. He went all the way with the Manchester City right back. There'll be a corner on this near right hand side. Oscar Bob will loft in left footed. Here comes the delivery from Bob, goes deep. It's headed up and behind by Casemiro. Be another corner to Manchester City. Test that for the United defence. Casemiro stuck to his task. Tracked that near post run of Josko Gvardiol at the expense of a corner. Plenty of capability inside that 6-yard box for City. Gvardiol, Diaz, Haaland. As Bob tries again, deep this time. Maguire gets the touch. Headed down by Diallo and headed away by Johnny Evans. Diallo will race over that far right hand side for United. Does well to win it from Rico Lewis and holds his hands up in frustration there as the free kick is given against him. He's careered into the back of Rico Lewis and had an arm round his neck as he tried to maybe spring a counter attack for United. 10 minutes gone here at Wembley Stadium. We're yet to really crackle into life in this Manchester derby. A rerun, of course, of the final game of the 2023-24 season. Manchester United, the somewhat surprise FA Cup champions that day. Erik ten Hag given a stay of execution by the Manchester United hierarchy. He is still in charge here, and there's the potential for an early piece of silverware if he can repeat the trick today. Such an impressive performance from United that day, full of verve and vigour. Manchester City, who'd already claimed the Premier League title, a little off colour as they tried to make it another domestic double, winning the treble, of course, back in 2023, first ever UEFA Champions League title for Pep Guardiola in Manchester. It was 2 first half goals that did the damage for United. Alejandro Garnacho and Mainu. Will we see a breakthrough before the break here today? A short goal kick there taken by Onana. Not sure if Johnny Evans wanted that inside his own box, and he's pressured there and he's forced to concede a corner. Really good work from Nico O'Reilly. Put the squeeze on the veteran Northern Ireland international. Corner is taken quickly this time. It's going to be O'Reilly to loft in the short ball, headed away by Manchester United. Picked up on that left-hand side by Josko Gvardiol, but he's forced to pass it back into the centre circle for Rico Lewis, the final man back there for Manchester City. Here comes Bob, just steps in off that right wing, does brilliantly to get away from Marcus Rashford. He's got a chance to step on into the box here, squares it across the line to O'Reilly. Just ran into a bit of traffic there. Casemiro did well to get a foot in, but O'Reilly tenacious again, good feet from him there to win back possession. Manchester City looking to turn the screw a little here. James McAtee, who's just drifted out onto this near right hand side, backed up by Oscar Bob. Now Manuel Akanji. Everybody but Ederson packed into the Manchester United half of the field here as McAtee goes one-on-one with Lisandro Martinez just past the 18-yard line on the Manchester City right. Tries to curl that one in towards the far post, but it'll drift wider behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. Andre Onana just with a word of calmness to the defenders in front of him. Gives us an opportunity for me to give a stat that I was dying to there, as that chance was missed by Manchester City. 19-year-old Nico O'Reilly against 36-year-old Johnny Evans. A mismatch, if ever you've heard one, in terms of age, but Johnny Evans is still in Eric Ten Hag's Premier League plans, certainly for this season at least. A bit of a mix-up here in that goal kick. Onana leaving Harry Maguire to duties, and Maguire not quite on the same page as his goalkeeper, and Onana takes it over. Short into the feet of Mainu, but he's immediately pressured there by Manuel Akanji. Be a throw in to United midway inside their own half. Sandro Martinez will come forward down this left-hand side to take. They've been boxed in the last few minutes, Manchester United. The threat on the break of Rashford and Diallo's been nullified for the moment as Martinez is forced to go back to his goalkeeper. Haaland and Maguire involved in an ugly coming together there. It's an accidental collision on the face of it. Haaland just tried to twist away from Maguire. Just crashed straight into the England international. 25 yards from goal down the Manchester City right. It's Maguire certainly who's come off worse there. Haaland perfectly entitled to spin and try and run into that gap. Doesn't seem to be any significant damage to Maguire. He's back on his feet. Certainly not a pleasurable experience, I'm sure. A towering figure of Erling Haaland careering into you unexpectedly, but it's occupational hazard for Premier League centre-backs. Maguire knows that all too well. Erling Haaland, certainly in terms of previous meetings, has enjoyed his clashes with Manchester United. It's been an incredible first two seasons for him in English football, and continues to endear himself to the Manchester City faithful, particularly with the amount of goals he scored against Manchester United. Just looking at last season alone, he didn't score in the FA Cup final. He scored 3 in 2 in the Premier League. And then, of course, going back to the previous season, apologies Manchester United fans, that 6-3 win at the Etihad Stadium. A hat-trick for him and a hat-trick for Phil Foden. No Phil Foden today, though. He's still benefiting from that extended post-Euro 2024 break. Good little aerial challenge won there by Oscar Bob inside the centre circle. Nods it backwards to Manuel Akanji. Rico Lewis squares it infield from right back, and Manuel Akanji will go all the way back to his goalkeeper Ederson. Manchester United know they need to get a bit of a handle here on City. Pep Guardiola's team are able to build up a head of steam. They are pretty much unstoppable. United need a little bit more control in their play. Here is Harry Maguire, recovered from that collision with Erling Haaland. Switches it to this near side. Lisandro Martinez just steps over the halfway line from left back for United. It's forced backwards by Bob to Evans. And Casemiro, who's happy to slot in as a third centre back when United have the ball. Martinez and Dalot looking to career up the pitch from right back and left back. Nana will go long again, looking for the burst in behind of Bruno Fernandes. That false number 9 position that he has played for Eric Ten Hag on occasion is a clear route for Onana this afternoon. And foul on the halfway line there as Jeremy Doku just tried to dip inside Diogo Dalot. No card given, just a stern word from Jarrett Gillet to the Manchester United right back. City looking to get on with this quickly, switch from left to right, and Rico Lewis will raid forward down this near touchline into the Manchester United final third, but it's good tracking there from Martinez, and he goes all the way back to Manuel Akanji. Switched over to that left side, lovely bit of skill there from Jeremy Doku to get away from Dalot. Can he find the ball across the box? On into the area, past Harry Maguire to the byline, cut back, and Nico O'Reilly just couldn't stoop low enough to head that one goalwards. Brilliant stuff from Jeremy Doku out wide. Skinned past Diogo Dalot. Harry Maguire wasn't able to match his dancing feet, and the dink back onto the 6-yard line looked tailor-made for Nico O'Reilly. He just dipped at the wrong moment as he tried to make contact with that one. With 18 minutes on the clock, that is the closest we've come to a breakthrough here. And it was all about the Belgian. Too much pace for Dalot and for Maguire. Big opening for O'Reilly. City will come again down this left-hand side. Doku initially loses the ball, but James McAtee does well to win it back. He's been caught there by Casemiro. Referee waves play on for now. That might get revisited. That was an ugly challenge there from Casemiro on the returning Manchester City midfielder. Little ball in behind there to try and free Oscar Bob is a touch too heavy. It will drift behind for a Manchester United goal kick. We've just been shown a little replay of that run from Doku through the legs of Dalot past Maguire. Just tried to steer it back to Nico O'Reilly. Kobe Mainu may have just got a slight touch on that one as it looked to land on the head of O'Reilly. But a warning for Manchester United nonetheless. Haaland there just chasing down over on that far right hand side. Harry Maguire attempting the long raking pass out. Manchester City's number 9 doing his defensive duty. He'll be one of those names that will start the first Premier League game of the season against Chelsea. There's a couple of names that you'd anticipate will be joining him: Ruben Diaz, Manuel Akanji, Ederson, Josko Gvardiol. But fascinating to see what sort of a role McAtee and O'Reilly will play for Guardiola this season. Mentioned Phil Foden there, who's had a busy summer with England. There's Kevin De Bruyne, who is on the bench today, away with Belgium at Euro 2024. Bernardo Silva, Rodri not involved. Went all the way to glory, of course, with Spain in the European Championship. So the door has been left ajar for McAtee, O'Reilly, and one or two others to potentially push their case. Issa Kabor, who's on the bench today for City, the 23-24 campaigner on loan at Luton Town, showed some impressive performances for the Hatters. Here is McAtee floating over to that left hand side, goes all the way to the 18-yard line, but he's forced inside to Doku. Come over to this near right hand side now, still 25-30 yards from goal. Lewis, now O'Reilly, he's been heavily involved. Nico O'Reilly looking to pop up in them pockets in between the Reds midfield and Reds defence. They've not really been able to get a grip on him. Casemiro and Kobe Mainu. Now another little raid forward here from Rico Lewis. He's on into the box, bit of space to race into. Cross is deflected, falls for Haaland. Can he hook it back across goal? He can. Dalot is there to smash it away. Anywhere will do for United. There's going to be a throw in here on this near right hand side. That was a half chance for Haaland. Rico Lewis just saw that space that he could raid into. Kobe Mainu wasn't able to cover the run. Johnny Evans tried to get across to make the challenge. Andre Onana channeling his inner Peter Schmeichel there to put off Haaland, and he probably did just enough to ensure that he couldn't curl that one back across goal. Diogo Dalot there to complete the job for Manchester United. Quarter of the game gone here on Flashscore UK Community Shield at Wembley Stadium, and it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1. Kovacic looking to thread that one through the lines to Oscar Bob. He'll go on into the box past Lisandro Martinez. Bob with the curler, and he's wild off target. Good feet there from the Manchester City right winger Just saw a little chink of light that he could curl that one into. On the far side of Andre Onana's goal, there was bodies flying in his way from a Manchester United perspective. Just couldn't quite get the whip on it that he wanted. Pep Guardiola with a big round of applause for the Norwegian. But Manchester City are banging on the Wembley door here. Maguire, Evans and Martinez, as it stands, just about keeping them at arm's length. Another goal kick taken short and another ineffectual one for Manchester United. Eventually Maguire just smashes that one downfield, but it's lost by Bruno Fernandes. The space here for City to attack through the centre. O'Reilly tries to free Haaland, just a bit too much on that, and the teenager Erling Haaland sticks the hand up in recognition. That was good quick thinking from the number 75 in the City engine room. Any squad number nerds amongst us today will be loving or bemused, depending on your position, by the selection from Pep Guardiola. 75 for O'Reilly, 87 for McAtee, 52 for Bob and 82 for Rico Lewis. Something of a maths examination. Bit of possession here for Manchester United. The goal kick this time sent up towards the halfway line, and United do manage to maintain possession, but they're forced back to the edge of their own 18-yard box with Martinez. He's got space to trot forward here, the Argentinian, but that ball is immediately cut out by Oscar Bob. Tigerish stuff there from the City forward, and City will try and put the squeeze on Martinez here. Haaland will go across, it's given away. There's a chance in the box here for James McAtee, off the post from McAtee. Another huge let off for Manchester United. All of their own undoing there as Lisandro Martinez tried to play his way out on the edge of the box. Bob with the initial press, it was quickly recycled into McAtee. There was space to curl one, no chance for Onana, and off the post for City, and so close for James McAtee. Manchester United here living on their nerves. The United fans in behind Onana's goal. Some of the faces thought that was curling into the bottom corner as McAtee wound up. And that is another massive chance going a-begging for Manchester City. Guardiola with the long ball forward down the left to release Doku in behind. The space in for the box here for him now. He's tracked by Harry Maguire. Diogo Dalot there doubles up to complete the clearance, but again it's lost by United. Casemiro goes to ground, and he's relieved to see Jaragile blow the whistle there. And that again just eases the pressure ever so slightly for Manchester United, but that was all of their own making there. Poor from Martinez twice as he gave the ball up to Oscar Bob. James McAtee was on it like a flash inside the area, curls one round Andre Onana, no chance for the United keeper, and it's the upright that keeps Manchester United level here at Wembley. Will they get another opportunity to keep City at bay? 25 minutes gone. We've had the woodwork rattled by James McAtee, and some nerve-jangling defending from Manchester United. And it's Pep Guardiola's side that at this point in the game beginning to smell blood. Here's Onana with the lofted ball forward, tries to find Martinez at left back, but it's headed out of play eventually by Rico Lewis. Did well to read that one. Mainu will just let that one bounce behind. Just trying to take the sting out of things for United at the moment. They're trying to get a foothold in this game to give Manchester City something to think about. There's already been some movement down on that Manchester United substitutes bench. Players sent out to warm up. Erik Ten Hag assessing his options. We've still got a good bit of time to go before the break, of course, but possibility for changes for United. Mainu wants to pick up that short goal kick from Onana on the edge of the box, but he's immediately harangued there by Nico O'Reilly. Tries to find a ball into midfield, but again it's the City press that wins back possession. Haaland gives it away though. Casemiro with the outside of the boot pass to find Marcus Rashford. He's drifted back into a left back position here, Rashford, and tried that quick switch over to the right hand side, helped on by Bruno Fernandes. Diallo will try and catch that, but is eventually hoofed away by Ederson. Evans will get there before Haaland though on halfway. Good response this from Manchester United to that post hitting from James McAtee. Here's Johnny Evans, just steps over the halfway line into the Manchester City half of the field. But again, City with the press and United forced backwards. Here's Lisandro Martinez. Just a shortage of options for those United defenders, and Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo when they get the ball. Rashford, Fernandes, Diallo and Mount not really offering. That's allowing Manchester City to just set them traps and try and spring Haaland, Bob and Doku. Here's Harry Maguire, just takes a moment, studs on the ball on the halfway line into Bruno Fernandes, gets on the swivel. It's immediately pounced on by Mateo Kovacic. Sharp play there from the Croatian, goes for caution, back to Ederson. A nervous one there from the Brazilian though. He tried to find Josko Gvardiol on the left hand touchline, and it's drifted out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. Midway inside the City half of the field, quickly taken into the feet of Casemiro. Now Mount, Diallo looks to go one-on-one with Josko Gvardiol, aiming for the dead ball line, but he's forced backwards. Now Casemiro, Diallo again, Mainoo with the touch, cut out again by City. Haaland gets his body in there against Mainoo, and City have got men over here as O'Reilly looks to charge through the middle. He was tugged back there, but he manages to keep possession. Bruno Fernandes with the tackle, and Fernandes with the second bite of the cherry wins the ball back for Manchester United. Haaland tried to live with him there, but he just couldn't quite win possession. Fernandes does well to advance through the middle of the pitch into the Manchester City half. A bit more open now as United start to ask a few questions of their own. Diallo darting forward, tries to get past Gvardiol, gets past Gvardiol, tried to steer that one across the 6-yard line. It was a cross shot from the Manchester United number 16. Didn't look confident in a finished effort there from him, but those bodies piling in. Marcus Rashford just under the watchful eye of Rico Lewis. It probably was an intended shot by Diallo, but it never really in a position to trouble Ederson. Best chance you'd probably chalk up as United's clearest opening in the first 30 minutes here at Wembley Stadium. They've been short on something in attack, and that speed from Diallo out wide will offer some hope for Erik ten Hag. Ederson to get us back underway here. Goes long this time. He had options to go short there. Akanji and Diaz showing for him, but he fires that one up to Haaland. Haaland with a poor first touch, and it's a good win there from Casemiro. Brave stuff from the Brazilian. Haaland was fired up to try and win that one back. He knew it was a poor piece of control, and Casemiro just put his body in the way there to make sure Manchester United come out on top. Casemiro again wants to dink that one forward down this left-hand channel for Marcus Rashford to run onto, but Akanji back to Ederson. Ruben Diaz on the edge of the Manchester City box with Josko Gvardiol for support. Manchester City now looking to maintain a bit of possession inside their half of the field. The better chances have gone to Pep Guardiola, but much like in the FA Cup final back in May, the cutting edge that they needed, just not quite there as it stands. Here's Jeremy Doku, got space to run into down the Manchester City left. On and on to try and face up with Diogo Dalot again. Just steps back on the 18-yard line for City. Now Ruben Diaz well advanced midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. Akanji, again the City sky blue shirts flood forward, happy to pack themselves into United's half. Doku steps in off the touchline, nice ball into the feet of Haaland, but Johnny Evans goes to ground, gets there first. Good sharp defending there from the Northern Irishman. City will come again it'll be Doku even, just buffeted off it there by Diogo Dalot. Bruno Fernandes thought about the big switch from the right hand touchline into the box. It was only Mason Mount in there, and he was well covered by City defenders, and Manchester United burst forward here as Diallo cuts it across the 6-yard box, and that is an opportunity for Manchester United. Mason Mount caught in two minds as Diallo went through. Not a natural in those types of situations, of course, the former Chelsea man. You do get the sense that if he'd just thrown himself at that pass, he might have had enough to divert it past Ederson for a goal. It's that directness of Amad Diallo again causing a problem for Josko Gvardiol. think Mason Mount just hesitated as the chance presented itself to him. He's put up a hand of apology to Fernandes and Amad Diallo afterwards, and Erik ten Hag, with the rub of the face, he knows that was a good opportunity. So you know, Rasmus Højlund here today, he's set to miss the season kick-off next weekend. He won't be available until mid-September. Not quite as serious a situation as Lenny Yoro. A thigh injury in pre-season means that his campaign start will be delayed. More natural in that type of a position in the 6-yard box, the Danish international. Would he have dived at that one? You do think so. Mason Mount knows that when them opportunities come his way in that type of a position, he has to go for it. Really good play inside the 18-yard box. Casemiro with the layoff. Diallo just stepped away from Guardiola and Ruben Diaz. Wasn't the clearest pass back to Mason Mount. The United number 7 just didn't anticipate it was going to come his way. That is a chance wasted for Manchester United. We're finally starting to see a bit of zip in this game from both sides. Crossfield pass over to Doku, just floats out of play for a Manchester United throw-in just inside their own half of the field. Diogo Dalot to come forward to take. 34 minutes gone here at Wembley Stadium on Flashcourt. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. Rerun, of course, of the 2024 FA Cup final. Manchester United's 2-1 victory in that game has booked their spot here today. It also ensures that they'll be playing European football this season. Newcastle United, the ones to miss out. They will be in the Europa League group stages. Bruno Fernandes just tried to wind one up from distance there, and it's caught his Portuguese international Ruben Diaz right in the face. Spins up and into the gloves of Ederson eventually. Diaz is feeling the effects of that one. Stinger from Fernandes. It would have been going straight at Ederson if it had been on target. Diaz is back on his feet, quick drink of water. He should be okay to continue. Manchester City, of course, 4 Premier League titles in the row. They'll be in the Champions League this season. Newly formatted Champions League competition, of course. The Swiss-style league format gets underway in September. Just the 4 Premier League teams will be competing: Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Aston Villa. All of those games and the Europa League games will be available here on Flashcore UK. There's going to be an action-packed schedule 2024-25. Ruben Diaz back on his feet. Referee Jean Gillet happy that he's okay to continue after that ball-to-face incident from Bruno Fernandes. Interesting, not much of an apology from Fernandes after that one. It's a complete accident, but international teammates. He's a fierce competitor, Bruno Fernandes. Loose ball from United, eventually just gathered in by Johnny Evans on the edge of his own box. He'll go back to Andre Onana. Harry Maguire inside his own 18-yard box. Doku and Haaland slow to put the pressure on. Johnny Evans' ball out to Kobbie Mainoo is well taken in by the England international. It's been a hell of a 12 months for him, of course. From Manchester United academy player to first team start, Euro 2024 finalist with England as well. The interim Three Lions head coach Lee Carsley is in the crowd today. The FA confirming in midweek that he will take charge of the UEFA Nations League games on the schedule in September. There's another chance here for United as it builds forward, and it falls for Rashford on the left, and he curls that one past Ederson's post. Just bobbled as it fell to him. Rico Lewis caught ball washing there as he got sucked into the central area. Casemiro again with the layoff. And Rashford had the chance just to steer that one round Ederson. An untidy finish from Manchester United's number 10. He just couldn't quite get the purchase on it that he needed. And again, we're seeing a situation of possibly not a natural finisher in that type of a situation. Mason Mount just a few moments ago. Rashford now unable to get the curl on that one that he wanted. As we edge towards the half-time whistle, it's Manchester United with the greater impetus for a breakthrough goal. McAtee off the post for Manchester City in a handful of half chances for Pep Guardiola. But Mount and Rashford for United at the other end will be leaving Erik ten Hag frustrated. That is, of course, unless we get ourselves a goal before the break. 38 minutes gone at Wembley Stadium. Still no goals in this annual season curtain raiser. Premier League action gets underway next weekend. Manchester United under the Friday night lights. They'll be the first team in action in the new season. From a Premier League perspective, they host Fulham at Old Trafford. And it's a Sunday afternoon showdown for Manchester City away at Chelsea. Can I just quickly run you through the fixtures on the calendar for the opening Premier League weekend of the season. So Friday the 16th, Manchester United against Fulham. That's an 8 PM kick-off. And on Saturday it's a 12:30 start for Ipswich Town, back in the Premier League after a long wait. They play host to Arne Slot and Liverpool. In the 3 o'clock games, Arsenal at home to Wolves, Everton at home to Brighton, Newcastle hosts Southampton, obviously back in the top flight. Long trip for them on the opening weekend of the season. Nottingham Forest play host to Bournemouth, and then in the 5:30 game it is West Ham at home to Aston Villa. Sunday, as we mentioned, a 4:30 start at Stamford Bridge. Manchester City, the visitors for Enzo Maresca, and Brentford play host to local rivals Crystal Palace. That's the early game on Sunday with a 2 PM start. And then the third promoted side, Leicester City, in Monday night action. That's an 8 PM start against Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham. Here's Rico Lewis. Again, just forced backwards on the halfway line. Good press there from Lisandro Martinez, and then Rashford looks to put the pressure on Akanji. Eventually back to the feet of Edison. Here's Akanji. Rico Lewis now deep back in that right back position. Fires it up towards the halfway line. Erling Haaland does well to take that one in, and O'Reilly will back him up for the 1-2. Good feet there from O'Reilly just to ease away from Mainu, but Casemiro goes to the ground, concedes the throw in. No calmness about Nico O'Reilly. Certainly not fazed by the illustrious figures both in the dressing room and in the opposition today. Casemiro still a fearsome operator to be coming up against, and as you'd expect from a player under the tutelage of Pep Guardiola, he's been cool, calm and collected. Here's McAtee, looking to sprint away down the left hand side. Jeremy Doku leaves him to it, now backs him up over on that corner of the 18-yard box. Doku will try and go one-on-one with Dalot again, into the feet of McAtee. Little twinkle toes there from Doku just to keep it away from Ahmed Diallo. 5 minutes before the break, are we going to see another opportunity for City or United before the whistle? Good hustle there from United to push City back onto the halfway line, but it's quickly recycled over to Doku, and McAtee will go beyond him on the overlap. Thought about the little dink into the box on the dead ball line, but he's eventually caught by Casemiro. Now Lewis swivels away inside the box, blocked by Maguire, cleared away by Harry Maguire. It wasn't pretty defending from the England centre-back, but it was necessary. Rico Lewis was buzzing around that loose ball. Maguire just launches it away. The referee now has halted play. Is he potentially taking a look at something inside the Manchester United box? I've mentioned before that we do have VAR on duty here. Jared Gillet's just whistled for a moment, and we are being shown a replay of this incident. Good play from Lewis as he stepped away from Kobe Mainu. Blocked there by Harry Maguire. Don't think there's any danger of a handball. I think eventually we're seeing now that the stoppage here is for an injury to Casemiro. There's 3 minutes to go before the end of regulation time here in the first half. Referees allowing for a quick drinks break here before the half-time interval. Pep Guardiola gathering his troops in. Casemiro just taking a little break of his own on the floor. He seems to be okay after that injury, after Maguire cleared up for Manchester United. Erik ten Hag also taking the chance to have a quick word with his team. It's a very, very hot day here at Wembley Stadium. Just checking the temperature, 28 degrees as it stands. Perfect summer weather. So you're not in action here for either Manchester City or Manchester United, but it's energy sapping. Despite the fact that we're almost at the half-time interval, Jared Gile happy to just let the players get some fluids on, get themselves to the break. Guardiola and Ten Hag just ushering their players back out onto the field here. This potentially could impact how much added time we've got. Jared Gile confirming that he did stop his watch for that little break. Casemiro's going to have to step off the field of play and come back on as per the injury protocol. Just getting ourselves a little look at the Manchester United bench. Former striker Ruud van Nistelrooy brought on board this season, the former Dutch international striker, real fans' favourite during his playing career at Manchester United, a certified Premier League goal scorer. It's a poor ball across the City defence from Manuel Akanji, almost made to pay for it, but it's Mateo Kovacic that gets there just before Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes thought about the foul as Kovacic marches through the middle of the pitch. He's got an option out wide if he can find Jeremy Doku. Finds Doku. He stands up. Diallo inside the box. Thought about the shot. Drives it just past the post from Doku. Now he's claiming for a corner there. The referee has signalled for a goal kick. Again, good feet from Doku. Just steps away from Diallo on the edge of the area. I think that does take a slight deflection off the sliding Manchester United number 16. I think Doku's got a case there. The referee waves that one away. The frustration there from the Belgian international. Gile just telling him to calm down. Haven't seen any flashpoints so far in this Manchester derby, really. It's a fixture, of course, that you do associate with plenty of tackles. 3 bookings in the FA Cup final: Mainu, McTominay and Julian Alvarez. We know Julian Alvarez, of course, involved today. He's on his way to Atletico Madrid, the Argentina international, freshly back from winning the Copa America. He has kicked his last ball in Manchester blue. Guardiola confirming that he wanted a new challenge in his career, and that will take him to the Spanish capital. Just waiting to be updated on how much added time there'll be here at Wembley Stadium. There's going to be a free kick to United in the meantime. This left hand side, Bruno Fernandes will loft that one into the box, but it's behind eventually by Kobbie Mainoo. Just couldn't get his knee over that ball to volley it back into the Manchester City area. Just into the final few seconds of the first 45. Mateo Kovacic picks up possession from the short goal kick from Edison. Ruben Diaz now just stepping through the middle of the pitch for Manchester City. Thought about the ball forward, but he's just opted for safety there to Kovacic. And we'll have 2 additional minutes played here. So Ruben Diaz again just tries to fire that one cross field to James McAtee, but it's going to be another Manchester United throw-in. Midway inside the City half on the right-hand side from a United perspective. Diogo Dalot comes forward to take. Just toss that one back into Harry Maguire. United just looking to keep a bit of possession before the break here. Casemiro steps in on the halfway line to keep it going. Diallo eventually forced to just curl that one back to Maguire inside United's half of the field. International again calling for options in front of him. He tries to pass that one through Haaland and McAtee, but it's again all the way back to Andre Onana. And we tick into the final seconds of this first half of the 2024-25 FA Community Shield. No goals, a few frizzes of excitement at both ends. James McAtee off the post for City. Big chances for Mason Mount and Marcus Rashford. A throw into City back inside their own half with Josko Gvardiol. Diaz. Now Manuel Akanji. Guardiola has already departed stage left. He's headed for the dressing rooms here at Wembley Stadium to prepare his half-time team talk. Erik ten Hag will be following him down the tunnel in just a few seconds, but almost there in the 2 additional minutes of added time. Another poor ball out of defence for Manchester City this time. Another throw-in for United inside their half this time. Just trying to spring Jeremy Doku away, and Diogo Dalot sees that one out for a throw. Here's Harry Maguire. It's all about the long ball forward, and the referee raises his hand, puts his whistle to his mouth, and that is the half-time whistle here at Wembley Stadium. No breakthrough in the FA Community Shield between Manchester City and Manchester United. James McAtee with the closest attempt for City, crashing one back off Andre Onana's goalpost. There has been chances for United, Rashford and Mount, but as it stands at the break here on Flashscore UK, it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. We'll be back with all the second half action in just through the current lineups in just a moment or two. It's going to be Manchester City to get the ball rolling. Right to left in this second 45. Jared Gillet just giving the signal to James McAtee. And it is City that get us back underway. No goals. McAtee restarting the second half. He had the best chance in the opening 45 minutes, hitting the base of Andre Onana's post. Chances at the other end for Marcus Rashford and Mason Mount, but United yet to test Ederson in the Manchester City goal. Let's give you a free kick on the edge of the United box. Erling Haaland unfairly tussling with a couple of United defenders there, so we can just quickly run through the teams. No changes, as I mentioned, by Guardiola or Erik ten Hag. Ederson in goal for Manchester City. Rico Lewis, Manuel Akanji, Ruben Diaz and Josko Gvardiol in defence. Nico O'Reilly, Mateo Kovacic and James McAtee in midfield. And it's Oscar Bob, Erling Haaland and Jeremy Doku leading the attack for City. As for Manchester United, Andre Onana in goal, Diogo Dalot, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans and Lisandro Martinez in defence. Casemiro and Kobe Mainu in midfield. And it's an attacking quartet of Amad Diallo, Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. And here is United on the charge down that left hand side. Marcus Rashford trying to bustle his way into the box, but he's blocked off by Manuel Akanji. Brilliant work there from the Switzerland international just to slam the door in Rashford's face. Tried to wriggle his way past a couple of City challenges there, Rashford, but really good work from Akanji just to recover his ground and get a foot in. As I mentioned before kick-off, it's been a tale of two very different situations in the Community Shield in their recent years for Pep Guardiola. He's lost his last three against opponents here in Wembley in the annual curtain raiser for the Premier League campaign. Defeats to Leicester, Liverpool, and last season to Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. Manchester United, on the other hand, have been pretty much perfect since they've come to the new Wembley Stadium. 4 successive Community Shield wins, including beating City here in 2011. And they'll be hoping that that is the end result today. But as it stands, no goals. Here's Doku, speeds over the halfway line down the Manchester City left, but doubled up on by Dalot and Diallo. He's been the go-to guy for City in the first 45 minutes. Jeremy Doku, plenty of pace and tricks causing problems for the Manchester United defence. That will certainly be something that Erik ten Hag will have focused on in the half-time interval, looking to make sure that his right-back Dalot is not exposed by his Belgian counterpart, and it's an issue that many a Premier League right-back have come up against even. Here's Ruben Diaz, just back inside his own half in the centre circle for Manchester City, pressed by Fernandes. He'll go back to Ederson. Good work there from Bruno Fernandes, just forces Manchester City to be a bit more measured in the way that they're doing things, trying to build out from the back. And Johnny Evans wins that on halfway for United, and it's eventually bundled into Mason Mount over on that far left hand side. Now he's backed up by Marcus Rashford. Mainu, Mount. Obviously at this point in the game, despite the fact that there's a big chunk of action still going, there's always the possible thought of penalties, the dreaded penalty shootout that is always in the back of minds of players, fans, and of course anybody just watching for the fun of it here can confirm that if scores are level here today after 90 minutes, then it will go straight to penalties. So if you're a neutral, it's certainly something that you'll be keeping an eye on. It was a penalty shootout last season between Manchester City and Arsenal, as I mentioned just a moment or so ago. It was Mikel Arteta's team that were victorious in that one. We'll draw in normal time between the Gunners and the Citizens. Equaliser from Leandro Trossard in the 11th minute of additional time. Really stretching the essence of added time there, the Belgian international, but he did the job. Also scored in the shootout. Martin Ødegaard, Trossard, Bukayo Saka and Fabio Vieira. 4 perfect penalties for the Arsenal. As Manchester City look to burst forward here. That was a loose bit of control from Nico O'Reilly, just let it run away from him, and Mason Mount got a foot in, but City have won the second ball. Really good challenge from Diogo Dalot. James McAtee just tried to race onto the slack possession in midfield, and there's been a crunching tackle on halfway. Ruben Diaz just stepping forward, clattered into Mason Mount. Referee's just taking a moment before making the decision here. That was right dead on the centre circle. I don't think it'd be remiss to say that if that was a Premier League game, if this was a Premier League game rather, that may well have been a booking for the Portuguese international. He escapes just with a telling off. It wasn't really a chance for United to break, but it was still a late challenge from Diaz. Mason Mount back on his feet, he's okay, but certainly one to watch. Interesting to note that the 3 players that took penalties for City in that shootout defeat to Arsenal in this game last season, none of them are in the starting 11 today. No Rodri involved at all for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne on the bench as it stands. Possibilities, of course, and Pep Guardiola will introduce them at some stage. Rashford just tries to race away down the left-hand side for Manchester United, but drifts out of play for a throw-in to City. Midway inside their own half. Quickly taken though by Rico Lewis. 52 minutes gone. Very little to report in the opening stages of the second half. It's been very, very cagey. There's a bit of a buzz about this one in the final throws of the first 45, but it's still a bit of a slow burner. Here's Jeremy Doku. He can certainly set things to light, but he's tracked inside the Manchester United box by Casemiro. Really good tackle from the Brazilian there, and Fernandes will try and switch that one quickly downfield for Rashford, but Manuel Akanji on duty for City gets there before Rashford. Back to Ederson. At the risk of jinxing myself, you really do get the sense, based on the pattern of the way that this game has gone, that penalties at the end of 90 minutes is a real possibility. Obviously, change coming in recent seasons by the FA, looking to cut down on extra match action, particularly in a game like this that is not a Premier League or a Champions League encounter. It's somewhere in between competitive and non-competitive. The pre-season tours of Manchester United and Manchester City in the USA firmly in the warm-up category. Community Shield can be whatever you want it to be. One of those games that if your team lifts the hexagonal trophy at full time, you'll celebrate it, and if you're on the losing side, you'll pretend that you have absolutely no interest whatsoever. Here's Johnny Evans just looking to march forward on towards the halfway line. Lisandro Martinez with a nice ball in behind. Bruno Fernandes just didn't quite have the pace to get away from it, but he'll curl one from here. What a goal from Bruno Fernandes! Oh my word, what a finish! And the offside flag has flashed up against Manchester United's captain. That was an absolutely sensational goal. Brilliant ball out of defence from Lisandro Martinez, just punched a hole inside the high City defensive line. We're being shown the replay here. Fernandes is offside when that ball is played. There certainly didn't seem to be a whistle or a flag as he checked back in field. Curls it brilliantly past Ederson into that left-hand top corner. No chance for the Manchester City goalkeeper, but the flag is up against Fernandes. That was an incredible goal from Bruno Fernandes, but it will not count. And with 54 minutes gone here, the ball in the back of the net, but no goal for Manchester United, and it remains goalless here. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. My word, that was some goal to not be a goal from Bruno Fernandes. Can that spark Manchester United into life? Bruno Fernandes is walking around with a hell of a shocked expression on his face. He knows that would have gone down as one of the finest goals of his career. Make no mistake about it. Here is Akanji. He was the one that was caught by that run from Fernandes, but you also have to give credit to himself and Ruben Diaz. They stepped up at the right moment to eventually force that offside call. Diallo looks to battle away on this near right hand side, just on the touchline midway inside the City half, and it's been a multiplayer battle there, but City eventually come away with possession. Here is O'Reilly again, pace through the middle of the pitch into the feet of Haaland on the edge of the Manchester United box. Can he get away with from Maguire? No, blocked by Maguire and lashed wide by James McAtee. It looked as if Haaland was going to wind that one up for a blast at goal. Really good work through the middle of the pitch from Nico O'Reilly. Spotted the run of Haaland, didn't take it exactly as he would have wanted. The Manchester City number 9, it sat up for James McAtee. Can't blame him for having a go. 22, 23 yards from goal, just to the left of centre, the former Sheffield United loanee. But it's wide, well wide of Andre Onana's post. Are we going to get ourselves some Community Shield excitement? Just over half an hour to go. That's a really poor short goal kick as it's given away by Casemiro on the edge of the area. City will come again. Here's Doku, steps in from that left hand side, away from Dalot. Nice foot in there from Diogo Dalot. Really important piece of defending to win back possession. And Manchester United will try and get themselves going now. Rashford over on that far left hand side, just over the halfway line. Forced back in field by Bob. Fernandes will switch it to the right here. Ahmed Diallo advanced right up onto the 18-yard line. He'll go against Josko Gvardiol. On into the box from Diallo. Cut back towards Kobbie Mainoo. Cleared away by City. United come again. Here's Harry Maguire. Back to the feet of Diallo. He'll have another bite at Josko Gvardiol here. Into the box. Laid off by Mainoo. Curled towards that far post by Bruno Fernandes, and it's steered behind for a corner. Rico Lewis didn't see what was going on behind him, and he went for safety first. Marcus Rashford was lurking. Diallo again causing a few nervous moments there for Josko Gvardiol. Bruno Fernandes that just tries to dink that one over to the far post, but Rico Lewis on duty just nods that behind. Corner to United, first one of the game for Erik ten Hag's, first one for either side in the second period. As we edge towards the hour mark here at Wembley Stadium, it's going to be Fernandes who goes over to take. Can he find the right delivery here? Maguire and Evans both forward for United. Curled in deep, headed on by Maguire. There's good defending there from Ruben Diaz. He reacted to the second ball, but Mount will loft it back in from the right hand side. Headed away by Akanji. Jeremy Doku thought about bursting away there, but the referee blows. It's an offside against United as that ball came back in from Mason Mount. And from a game that didn't really seem to be going anywhere just a few minutes ago, we have ourselves a contest, but there's going to be changes here as expected in this type of a match. The two coaches looking to get some match action into the legs of their players, and there's going to be a 4-player substitution here for Manchester United. We'll get the details for it as soon as we can. 59 minutes gone. The referee, I think, is just delaying things to allow all of these changes to be made. So Mason Mount and Ahmed Diallo are the first two players withdrawn. There's going to be a straight swap there for those two players. Facundo Pellistri and Alejandro Garnacho are on. We're going to see a couple of United youngsters also given a run out here. There's just a bit of a delay here as the match officials, the fourth official Sam Barrett, sorts out a few bits and pieces. Tom Collier is on. Harry Maguire has been taken off. And the final alteration just being made here. The referee just making sure that everybody is on and off. So it's Ahmed Diallo, Mason Mount, Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire off. Alejandro Garnacho, Scott McTominay, Toby Collier and Facundo Pellistri are on. Any players unfamiliar with a couple of those names? Toby Collier is a Manchester United Academy graduate, just 20 years old. Arrived at Old Trafford from Brighton in 2022. Facundo Pellistri, who was sent out on loan last season for a campaign in Spanish La Liga, the Uruguayan international. He's now back after a pretty solid performance at Alaves. He spent 2 seasons on loan there after being renewed. Sorry, beg your pardon. He spent 2 seasons on loan at Alaves and then spent last season on loan at Granada. So 3 years away on loan in Spain. But he's back in Manchester and he's on here at Wembley for the final half an hour. Just going to get a little grip on how exactly United are going to reshuffle after those changes. It looks as if Lisandro Martinez has tucked in at centre-back alongside Johnny Evans. Diogo Dalot and one of the players coming on will look to join them in that back four. Dalot staying at right back. There's going to be a bit of a change. Let's just see how United settle. Here is Alejandro Garnacho just stepping through the middle of the pitch, finds Casemiro. Shifted over to the left hand side to Bruno Fernandes. Thought about the cross, but he feeds Garnacho on the overlap. Lewis does really well to track the Argentinian to the byline there. Going to be a fresh test for Rico Lewis if Alejandro Garnacho's in top form this afternoon. Here is Garnacho just looking to put some pressure on Edison into the feet of Ruben Diaz. Manchester United hoping to catch City a little cold here with those changes and try and ask a few different questions of them. It looks as if Alejandro Garnacho is going to push up in a right-sided position. Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay will operate as almost two false nines, as it were. Toby Collier into midfield alongside Casemiro. Facundo Pellistri as a right back / right wing back with Diogo Dalot moving over to the left. Lisandro Martinez in his more familiar home at centre back alongside Johnny Evans. Here's Doku over the halfway line again. Space for him to raid into here with Pellistri backing away towards his own 18-yard box. He doesn't want to be there. Facundo Pellistri is an attacking player by trade. He'll have to do his fair share of defending here up against Doku. Doku looks to ride again, goes past Pellistri, on into the box here. Chance for Doku to cut it back. Well dealt with there by Casemiro, just in front of O'Reilly. But here's Nico Lewis trying to tiptoe his way into the area. Toby Collier gets a foot in. Falls for Josko Gvardiol to curl one. And curl one past the post. He's a fan of a spectacular goal, we know, the Croatian. Managed to just find an angle there on his favoured right foot. 25 yards from goal, just tried to bend it past Onana. Cameroonian, confident that that was always bouncing past the post, just watches it whistle wide of the upright. And that is going to be a tough test for the two right backs. Garnacho starting on the right, but he'll be happy to drift over to that other side to give Rico Lewis something to think about. And Doku against Pellistri, based on that little interchange, looks like a mismatch already. And the changes for City incoming as well. Guardiola just issuing some instructions to a couple of his changes. He wants to get them made before the 65th minute. And the referee, Jaragile, is going to allow those changes to be made. It's going to be Nico O'Reilly. Really composed performance in the centre of midfield. Mateus Nunes is going to come on in midfield to replace him. And it is a first competitive appearance for Manchester City for the Brazilian international Savinho. See, sensational season rather, I should say, with Girona securing Champions League qualification, then brought to Manchester City this summer from another member of the City football group, Troyes, and he's going to replace Doku. So it will be Savinho against Pellistri. No less of a challenge for Pellistri. Nunez straight into midfield alongside Mateo Kovacic. 25 minutes to go here before the potential for a penalty shootout. Here's Manuel Akanji, deep inside his own half, just plays it across to Ruben Diaz. Josko Gvardiol tucked in from left back. Manchester City continuing with that pattern of play, allowing Rico Lewis to advance and telling Josko Gvardiol to tuck in when they're trying to defend. And here is Lewis, chased over on that far right hand touchline by Toby Collier. Good work from the Manchester United substitute. Forced backwards to Manuel Akanji. Now Lewis again, Collier again will put him under pressure, but the space to step into in the halfway line. Erling Haaland is deep here to help out. Haaland will spin now and try and run in behind against Erling Haaland, against Johnny Evans. Evans just forces him back out of the 18-yard box, over onto that right hand side with Oscar Bob. He'll loft it over to this near side now with Savinho. Deep down the Manchester City left, past the 18-yard line, but he's nudged backwards by Pellistri. Good defending there from the Uruguayan. Manchester United working overtime here to try and win back possession from Manchester City. There's a break on down this near right hand side. Garnacho needs support, steps in field to find Fernandes. Fernandes again dinks it in towards Scott McTominay. Poor touch from McTominay, but he manages to win a corner. Good defensive work there from Mateus Nunes, and I think the referee has actually gone against how that originally looked. It'll be a goal kick to Manchester City. Third man run there from Scott McTominay, just waited for Bruno Fernandes to dink it into the box to him, but fellow substitute there, Matheus Nunes, racing hard to get back, wins the goal kick for City. Frustrates Scott McTominay. City want to get on with this quickly. Rico Lewis into James McAtee. Lots of space for him to run into down the right hand side, into the Manchester United half of the field. Squares it across to Nunes. Now Savinho, wanting to get himself a run at Pellistri, the Manchester City number 16. Really good feet there to get away from two players, and he's on the overlap, and it's eventually blocked behind for a corner. Pellistri there that got the foot in as Savinho got away from him, but the cross in from Guardiola forced the corner. It's going to be Savinho to come over and take it on this near left hand side. Excitement is starting to crank up just a touch. Those changes have had the desired effect so far. Savinho to deliver. Curled in deep, headed down by Diaz. Guardiola just lays it off on the edge of the box to Oscar Bob. Bob thought about the cross in from that right hand side, but he's tracked here from Fernandes. Does well to get away though. Eventually just dink it in towards the far post. Falls kindly there, but it's blocked again. Savinho. Kovacic gets there before Garnacho, and he goes to the ground down the City left. Both players appealing for a foul in that one. It's a 50-50. Referee Jared Gillet is just going to pop over and defuse that one. Savinho did have a half chance there as the ball eventually came in from the right from Bob. He couldn't keep his volley down. Savinho again steams past Pellistri to the byline, crossed in, cleared away by Manchester United. Good defending there from Lisandro Martinez. Haaland lurking on the penalty spot. Garnacho will pick it up on the edge of the United box. Tried to launch a counter, but he's forced back in field by City. Here's Evans on the edge of his own 18-yard area. Pellistri. Just calm, sensible there from Facundo Pellistri. Goes back to Onana. Feel for Facundo Pellistri here. He's been thrown on in an unfamiliar position. Had a couple of minutes up against Jeremy Doku. And now the debut devil, that is Savinho. Here's Scott McTominay. Good pace there to get away from Nunes on halfway. And he's caught by the Portuguese international referee just with a free kick this time. He's considering his options on a yellow card. It is going to be a yellow card. And I think in fairness, that was actually because Nunes refused to let the free kick be taken quickly. I think Jared Gillet was willing to let the foul go. Manchester City substitute standing on the ball as United wanted to get on with that quickly. And we have ourselves a first caution here at Wembley. Jared Gillet's let a few things go so far this afternoon. You see referees primarily in the Premier League are looking to stamp down on time wasting and gamesmanship. United back in possession, but back inside their own half. Dallo just tries to step away from Oscar Bob from left back, but the ball into midfield is lost on halfway. Mateo Kovacic tries to poke it into the feet of Haaland, but Evans is there first. Ball given away again, this time by Manchester United. Savinho tries to link up with Haaland. Haaland's run into a bit of Reds traffic there through the middle of the pitch, and Savinho's ball out to Bob was a bit too heavy. They'll go out for a throw in the left back area for Manchester United. 20 minutes on the clock. Both teams at this stage, you'd imagine, will want to avoid penalties. If it continues, maybe the pragmatism of backing yourself from the spot kicks in, and the excitement from the neutrals certainly ramps up a notch or two. But there's bound to be a few more chances before we move towards the final whistle. Here's Pellistri, helped out there by Garnacho, who drops back in it, right back to help him out. The ball drifted forward. Fernandes is in behind here, but he just didn't have the legs to get away from Manuel Akanji. Straight into the gloves of Ederson. It's an offer on target for United, but Fernandes just seemed to run out of gas there as he was tracked by Akanji. Here comes Nunes, bursting forward over the halfway line, onto the left hand side to Savinho. Nunes will go on again, but it's really good challenge there from Lisandro Martinez. Gets across, slides in, beats the chest as that one goes behind for a corner to Manchester City. He loves that type of situation, Lisandro Martinez. A bit of ball, a bit of man. A corner to the Premier League champions. Just been shown a replay of that Fernandes chance. He was onside. He never really looked confident of taking on the opportunity. He has course, whipped one into the top corner this afternoon. Ruled out by offside earlier on. Savinho with the corner from the left-hand side. Headed just off target, though, by Manuel Akanji. Got away from two United defenders there. He couldn't steer it away. The final touch came off Johnny Evans, and it will be another corner to Manchester City. Back over on this left-hand side for Savinho. Akanji claiming that Johnny Evans had a piece of his shirt in that one. Referee waves away his appeals. Another piece of crucial defending for Manchester United to do here. It's Savinho again to deliver it in. Akanji, Diaz, Haaland leaving their runs till late into the Manchester United 6-yard box. Savinho's delivery headed away by United. Cleared only as far as Rico Lewis, who tries to hoist that one back into the box, but it bounces away to this left-hand touchline. Savinho is given the signal from the referee to stop play. There's an injury inside the box. Pep Guardiola is down. There's plenty of City bodies piling in on that corner from Savinho. Guardiola a little dazed. Sancho Martinez just steps in to offer a hand. Erling Haaland with an arm round the shoulder. It's made of tough stuff. Josko Gvardiola's happy to continue. Possibility, of course, of more changes from both managers. They are permitted to make 5 substitutions. Manchester United have already made 4, City with 2. Particularly with the potential for penalties. You're looking at Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. I did mention they were unfortunate in the 2023 Community Shield final, De Bruyne missing, Silva scoring. Will they be an option for Pep Guardiola? Here's Oscar Bob. There's a nice little touch on the edge of the box, links up with Rico Lewis. Casemiro again with the challenge. McAtee with the spin, goes to ground. Sandro Martinez stayed on his feet, and Casemiro will complete the clearance. Tries to feed that one up into the left-hand Manchester United channel for Garnacho, but Diaz gets there first, and Diaz just pokes it back to Ederson. United looking to get as many players back behind the ball. Alejandro Garnacho will be charged with racing and chasing anything that gets pumped forward. Marcus Rashford dropping deep down that left-hand side to cover. Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes will help out in midfield. That was a really smart piece of defending over on that far side by Toby Collier. Just allowed Rico Lewis to get past him. He knew there was too much on the ball. There will be a throw-in to Manchester United. 16 minutes to go here at Wembley Stadium. No goals. And a bit more excitement in the second half, but the best opportunity of the game is still that first half post-rattler from James McAtee, and former Sheffield United loanee still on the field. Potentially fancies his chances of a winner. There's been a bit of a kerfuffle after that throw-in. Rico Lewis being accused of kicking the ball at a United player, and based on the conversations that are going on both benches, Erik Ten Hag and Ruud van Nistelrooy on one, penalties are being planned for. Here's Onana, short on options in front of him, so we'll switch that over to this near right hand side. Pellistri loses out though to Savinho. It's a poor ball in field from the Brazilian, but Matheus Nunes helps him out halfway, just thumps that one back to Ederson. Those changes for United added a bit of freshness initially, but they've dropped back into a low block in the last few moments. McTominay, Collier charged with adding a bit of energy, a bit of grit to central areas to make sure that Manchester City don't play through United. The reliance will be on Garnacho or Rashford to race clear, maybe make an opportunity out of something. Both teams are running out of time. It'll be a throw in to City just inside the Manchester United half of the field on this near left hand side. Josko Gvardiol pinching a couple of metres as he hurls that one down the line to Savinho. Pellistri wins the header though. Casemiro with the touch. Nice ball there from Casemiro into the feet of Bruno Fernandes, who try and release Garnacho in down the right hand side. Rashford's free inside the box. Big chance for Marcus Rashford. Off the post from Rashford. A huge opportunity for Manchester United's number 10. The clearest opening of the afternoon at either end of the field. Brilliant from Alejandro Garnacho. kept his cool, raced clear down the right hand side, no chance of an offside. He was in his own half when he set off away, steered it across goal, 10 yards away from the goal line, and Marcus Rashford beats Ederson but cannot beat the post. A big opportunity for Marcus Rashford, doesn't get a clean connection on it, comes off his shin, and I think Ederson gets a slight touch on that, and if he does, that for City, crashing one back off Andre Onana's goal post. There has been chances for United, Rashford and Mount, but as it stands at the break, 1 goal in front. That is a huge let-off for Manchester City. That pace in behind of Garnacho and Rashford, such an asset for Manchester United in this type of situation. Marcus Rashford just unable to make the most of it. Based on the conversation that Ederson has just had with his defenders as they try and clear this one away, it does look as if the City goalkeeper got a glove on that one, and you have to give him full credit for denying Rashford. It didn't look as if it was going to bounce in anyway, but a slight touch on Ederson's glove helped it on its way up to the upright. And Rashford, for the second time today, has missed a huge chance. Should of course mention that the interim England manager Lee Carsley is here today. Marcus Rashford will be one of those players that he's keeping an eye on ahead of September's UEFA Nations League games, and 2 chances but no goals so far for a player who missed out on Euro 2024 duty with England. And based on today's evidence, he's not done his cause too much good as it stands, of course. Switch back over from the centre circle to Rashford on that left hand touchline this time, but poor touch again from Rashford. It's going to be a throw in to Manchester City. Erik ten Hag back in his seat. He was almost on the pitch as Garnacho and Rashford raced clean through on that one. The pragmatism of penalty planning in full progress here. Pep Guardiola a touch more relaxed than his opposition number. I'm sure he will know that there is a big opportunity for his team to pick up a piece of silverware in the next half an hour. Will it be in normal time or will it be in penalties? Here's Matheus Nunes just looking to calm things down for City onto the halfway line. Josko Gvardiol just clips that one forward from left back, and Savinho tries to wrestle away from Palestri. Johnny Evans with the arm up in the middle. There'll be an offside flag against Savinho. Palestri survives for now. Premier League fans, of course, very excited to see what Savinho will do at Manchester City this season. He was electric for Girona in 2023-24, securing a first ever Champions League qualification spot for them. 9 La Liga goals and 10 assists. And a real old school left winger, loves to run at a fullback and create chances, and we've seen plenty of that already today. Rashford with the switch from left to right, taken on the chest by Garnacho. He'll drift in field and try and work an angle for a shot, blocked by Kovacic. That'll spin behind for a corner. He's been at the heart of everything good about Manchester United since he's come on, Alejandro Garnacho. He's got that pace to threaten him behind, made the right choice to square across to Rashford for that opportunity just a few moments ago. He will be somebody that City are keeping a firm eye on as we move into the final 10 minutes here. But first and foremost, there's a corner to defend. Evans just giving the signal to give him a moment or two to get into the box. Fernandes with the delivery, lofts that one in deep, headed down by Rashford, and McTominay just couldn't quite get the touch. Almost looked to jump at it with 2 feet there, Scott McTominay. There's a good win over on that far post by Rashford, got well above Savinho. Scott McTominay with the air shot, just tried to get anything on it to steer it back across goal and test Ederson, but he couldn't quite make contact. Manchester City goal for the second time in 5 minutes survives another major goal threat. Just under 10 minutes to go. Pep Guardiola is sending on the cavalry. Bernardo Silva is on. Surely a penalty candidate, the Portuguese international James McAtee. Hit the post in the first half. It's impressed in flashes, the England under-21 international. But he is off. No penalty for him. Kevin De Bruyne, of course, still on the bench for City. I've actually seen too much of him in terms of the Manchester City warm-ups on the sidelines. A guaranteed pick from Guardiola to bring him on to take a penalty, of course, as Silva looks to raid forward through the middle, finds Savinho, stopped on the edge of the box by Pellistri, just steps in field. Collier will nick it away from him, picked up by Rico Lewis. Now Oscar Bob tried to feed that one on to Silva, who'd raced beyond him into the right hand side of the 18-yard box. From a Manchester City perspective, Bob picks it up again. Now Bakanji, Kovacic. City forced to play backwards here to Josko Gvardiol, but he's fed that out to this near left-hand touchline. Savinho again will try and feed that into Matheus Nunes. He goes to the ground, foul by Pellistri. Free kick quickly taken though by City. They have the sense that if there's an opportunity here, they want to take it. Both teams have plenty of players perfectly capable of dealing with the pressure of penalties, but as always, if you can win it in regulation time, that is the preferable scenario. Good turn of feet there from Matheus Nunes to get away from Collier, but Pellistri, tigerish, wins it back on the halfway line. That ball forward is blocked, but bounces kindly for Fernandes. On to Alejandro Garnacho. He's got a run at Gvardiol here, steps inside him, into the box. Garnacho! United with the breakthrough. Alejandro Garnacho off the bench, and with 8 minutes to go here in the Community Shield, could have fired Manchester United to a second successive final Wembley win over Manchester City. An FA Cup final win in the final game of the 2023-24 season, and they are closing in on a victory in the first game of the new campaign. And who else but Alejandro Garnacho? Calmness personified when he needed it. Facundo Pellistri played a big role here, winning back possession, feeds that one into Fernandes. Fernandes with the outside of the ball boot. There was still work for Garnacho to do here. Cuts inside two City defenders off the right hand side, left footed, low, hard, into the bottom corner. No chance for Edison, and Manchester United are on course for the Community Shield. It'd be a record extending 22nd title if they were to do so, and a 7th sorry, I beg your pardon, a 5th successive Community Shield final when they have been here at Wembley. And Garnacho with the moment of magic that Erik ten Hag was hoping for to kick-start United's season. Can City find something in response in the final few minutes here at Wembley? 6 minutes to go. Such a clutch player for Manchester United, Alejandro Garnacho. So many times when they've needed him over the last 12 months, he's produced something, an assist, a moment of magic or a goal, and that is exactly what he's done here to put Ten Hag on the brink of another piece of silverware. Whatever you might think of the Community Shield, Erik ten Hag needs all the help he can get as he prepares for a make or break season. Final change for Manchester United as we move into the final 5 minutes. Marcus Rashford is off. Jadon Sancho, who is back in the fold here at Manchester United, is on. Been a crunch summer for him and Ten Hag. A series of meetings has seen his United career revived going into the new campaign. Guardiola, of course, does still have the option for 2 more changes. Will he make that move? No movement as it stands from the bench. There's players who've been called back in. We'll get an update on that for you if Guardiola looks to bring a couple more changes on. Here's Akanji, just steps over the halfway line into Kovacic. United just happy to drop back into a watertight defence here. They've got everybody back behind the ball, trying to just fight and keep possession, keep Manchester City at arm's length. Good piece of defending there from Johnny Evans to win back possession. Tries to feed Scott McTominay. He'll go into the City half, but he loses possession. City have got a break on here. Savinho gets away from Pellistri, who's caught there, wanted a foul. The referee eventually pulls it back. That will be a free kick to City. Alejandro Garnacho kicks the ball away there, and he's bundled to the floor by Bernardo Silva, and the referee's going to have to come over here to deal with this. Frustration from Bernardo Silva. It's going to be a card for him. But Alejandro Garnacho, looks like he's to get a bit of a ticking off here from Gile himself. He knew what he was doing there, Garnacho. Silva goes careering into him, frustrated with time wasting from the Manchester United goal scorer. Sandro Martinez stepping in to not quite make peacemaker, but he's certainly given Bernardo Silva a piece of his mind. United fans cheering their team on into the final few minutes here. What a start to the season this would be for Erik ten Hag. An FA Cup final win over Manchester City effectively saved his job back in May. He's been given another chance, and he's been given a pretty sizable transfer war chest as well. Xerxes and Yoro already through the door, and the possibility for more before the transfer window slams shut at the end of August. And a trophy in the cabinet, and a positive start to the season will be a big boost for the Dutchman. Good work there from Casemiro on the edge of his own box just to stop Savinho from wriggling past Pellistri. 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Throw in though to City. Guardiola will come all the way forward, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field to take, but it's won back by United. Pellistri there caught by Savinho. Savinho wanted it in the opposite direction, but Pellistri will take the foul. Bruno Fernandes just coming over to give a word of encouragement to the stand-in right back. He's found it tough going up against Savinho, but he's so far just about held him at bay. Onana will come across to take this free kick from the United right back position, and he'll take his sweet time over it as well. Absolutely no need to rush for the Cameroonian international. He'll go long with this one, try and keep United inside City territory. Just smashes that one down the right hand touchline. McTominay will battle Guardiola for it. Bounces out for a throw in right in front of the corner flag. Good work there from McTominay to stop that from going out for a goal kick. They want to keep City penned in here, and that is exactly what they've done. Casemiro though with a foul. There'll be a free kick to City. Not happy with that one. Casemiro, experienced operator in them situations, thinking he knew exactly what he was doing there. City rushed with the clearance though, and Bob will race over down that far right hand side, tries to keep it in play to no avail though. Rico Lewis tries to back him up, but it bounces out. They throw in to Manchester United even. Pep Guardiola with his hands in the air, frustrated with a couple of decisions from the officials. He knows that he needs something big in the final few seconds if he's to avoid another Community Shield defeat. It will be four successive Community Shield finals that they have lost. Leicester, Arsenal, Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal, and potentially in the next 90 seconds or so Manchester United will be adding their name to that list. Eventually goes back to Onana again. He'll just hoof that one downfield. Guardiola with the touch as well to keep that in play there, the Croatian. Onto the halfway line to Savinho. He's forced infield from the left hand side to Akanji. Lewis, now Bob. Space for Bob to run into here. Martinez backs off to the edge of his own 18-yard box, but Rico Lewis is there in support for Manchester City. They'll try and build again over on that far right hand side. Bob does well to wriggle past Martinez, dinks it in. Bernardo Silva, equaliser for Manchester City at the death. Bernardo Silva off the bench and to the rescue for Pep Guardiola. He's had his name taken by the referee, and he's about to get his name back in the notebook for the right reasons this time. Bernardo Silva pops up to nod home past Andre Onana, and with seconds to go here in the FA Community Shield, we are certain, almost certain, to be heading for a penalty shootout. Brilliant resilience here from Manchester City. Oscar Bob just steps away from Martinez down that right hand side, dinks across into the far post. Bernardo Silva gets there in front of Pellistri and just nods it past Onana, and Manchester United have seen this game turned around with seconds on the clock at Wembley Stadium. Jaragile will now be the main focus. How much added time will there be, and how long until a penalty shootout again for Manchester City at Wembley Stadium? Brilliant end to this one. Garnacho for United, but the Premier League champions have picked themselves off the campus, and Bernardo Silva has sent this game to penalties. Kevin De Bruyne is being readied. Now there's the chance of a penalty shootout. Pep Guardiola wants his main man on. Nathan Ake also on. Oscar Bob withdrawn for De Bruyne. And I think potentially there was a shake of the hands there between Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne as he came on. Nathan Ake is on. We'll just get confirmation of which players were withdrawn there. Oscar Bob's number went up for De Bruyne. He's gone off. De Bruyne is on. Nathan Ake is on. Get confirmation on who he's replaced in just a moment or two. We are into added time here. As Savinho fouls Palestri, there's going to be 5 minutes added on. Both Ten Hag and Guardiola have made all of their substitutions, so there'll be no more changes in the final seconds. Only the 11 players on the pitch now for both teams can take a penalty as we edge towards the inevitability of spot kicks. Ironically, if you'd said that 20 minutes ago, I wouldn't have disagreed. Alejandro Garnacho's goal put a different slant on it. Bernardo Silva has reset the balance. Is there chance for one more opportunity? Here is Garnacho. Space for him to race into down the United right. Curls that one into the box. Bounces all the way through. But Bruno Fernandes will keep it alive for United. Now Jadon Sancho. First sighting of him since he came on. Fernandes' low ball into the box is cut out though. And De Bruyne has space to race in. Tried the first time ball into Haaland, but it bounces back to him. Haaland is still live inside the Manchester United half. But here's De Bruyne. Space to step into down the Manchester City left. But Palestri gets there. Kicks it behind for a throw-in. Just over 2 minutes of the additional 5 still to play. Nathan Ake will come forward from left back to take this ball, City. The sky blue shirts, as they've done for big chunks of this game, camped inside the Manchester United half once again. Can they smell the opportunity for one more crack? Here's De Bruyne through the legs of Casemiro. Haaland can't gather that in on the edge of the box. Johnny Evans will clear. And Manchester United again will try and hit the Garnacho button. Nathan Ake gets there first. Garnacho will battle with him, tries to win possession. Ake goes to the ground, and that's a free kick. But it's a free kick in favour of Manchester United. The referee, I think, has overruled his assistant there, and he's gone for a throw-in instead. Both sets of players slightly confused here. No, Jared Gile has reset that one. And it is going to be a Manchester United free kick right on this right-hand touchline. 20 yards from goal. Bruno Fernandes is going to come over and take this. Perfect crossing opportunity for the Portuguese international. As we tick into the final 90 seconds, this could be last chance saloon for Manchester United. Fernandes with the delivery. It's a poor one, headed away by the first man, Mateo Kovacic. And Palestri, who will race back to make sure Onana can get possession of that one. Onana goes long. Tries to free Sancho in behind Rico Lewis on that far left hand side, but it's span out for a throw in. Sancho just couldn't get a foot on that one. Good defending from Rico Lewis. Just made sure that Sancho wasn't comfortable enough to take that one down. Minds now switching towards the penalties. Players off the bench, and those that have already completed a full 90 plus minutes will be options for Ten Hag and Guardiola, of course. 2 goal scorers, you'd imagine, will take a spot kick. Silva on target against Arsenal this time last year. Garnacho, full of confidence, will be dying to take one for United, you'd imagine. Who else will stick their hand up for Guardiola and Ten Hag? Into the final minutes of the additional 5. Here's Ederson on the edge of his own box, just finds the feet of Akanji. Nice ball forward to Kovacic. He spins away from Casemiro through the centre of the pitch. Mateo Kovacic into this near left hand side. Savinho midway inside the Manchester United half, steps in off the left wing, thought about the shot, squares it to Kovacic. Now City looking to build possession over on that right hand side now with Kevin De Bruyne. Curls one into the near post. Onana gets his gloves on it. It's an easy take for the United keeper, and he'll sit on that one to eat down the clock. Seconds remaining here. We're effectively ticking into territory on what Jared Gile will add on in terms of added time on added time. Delaying the inevitable here, you would imagine. Penalty shootout almost looked destined from the start of the second half. Alejandro Garnacho did his best for United, but the wiliness of Bernardo Silva means that City are still in with an opportunity of winning what would be just the third Community Shield under Pep Guardiola, their first since 2019. Ruben Diaz back to his goalkeeper. Seconds to go here. Ederson thought about the long one. He just stepped inside Alejandro Garnacho. Can't get much cooler than that in the final throes of a Wembley final. And that is it. Full time here. Jaragile blows his whistle. Level pegging after 90 minutes between Manchester City and Manchester United in the 2024-25 FA Community Shield. And with no extra time here on Flashscore UK, we are going to take a very, very short break before penalties. As it stands, Bernardo Silva's equaliser forces the spot kick. Alejandro Garnacho, the hero for Manchester United. But in the final throws, Silva was the main man for City. We'll be back in a few moments to give you all the updates on penalties. Don't go anywhere. Activation button. No extra time in this one. It is going straight to penalty. Jaragile has already done his bit and pieces in the middle of the pitch. It's going to be United to go first. Bruno Fernandes selecting to get the Red Devils off and running. He is going to step forward for the first penalty for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes against Ederson to get the 2024-25 FA Community Shield up and running in this penalty shootout. Huge kick here for Fernandes, denied by an offside flag. What was a brilliant goal in normal time. Can he get United off to a perfect start? Fernandes against Ederson. Fernandes sends him the wrong way. Ederson goes right. Fernandez just waits that vital second and pops it in the opposite corner. Very coolly taken from the United skipper. Just waited for Ederson to make his move. Calmly side foots that into the opposite corner. Advantage Manchester United. Can City formulate an immediate response? And it is their goal scorer, Bernardo Silva, who steps forward. He scored in the Community Shield penalty shootout defeat to Arsenal last season. Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri both missing, and he's got the chance to level things up here for City. Silva against Onana. Takes a cool step up, saved by Onana. It was a poor penalty from Bernardo Silva, left-footed, too close to the left hand of Andre Onana, and he is denied by the Cameroonian international. Famously missed a Champions League penalty shootout spot kick against Real Madrid last season, and he is thwarted there by Andre Onana. A shrug of the shoulders afterwards. Not sure if he's complaining about Onana coming off his line too early. Either way, he's been denied, and United maintain their one-goal advantage in the shootout. We've got another Portuguese international stepping forward for United now. Diogo Dalot to put United 2 spot kicks in front. Dalot with a straight run-up, stuttered, waits, fires it, and it is right in the bottom corner. Brilliant spot kick for the Manchester United fullback. Ederson went the right way, dive into his right-hand side, but it sneaks into that corner. And that was a perfectly placed penalty. Ederson gets a touch on it. Diogo Dalot with a beat to the chest as he walks back to the centre circle. He knows that he's given United a big boost in this shootout. And Kevin De Bruyne, who missed against Arsenal in the Community Shield last season, steps forward to keep Manchester City in this final. Can he find a way past Andre Onana? Can he do what Bernardo Silva couldn't? Kevin De Bruyne with a short run up, stays and slots that one home, sends Onana the wrong way. Exactly what Manchester City needed from their midfield talisman there. Just waited. Onana committed to the dive. He steers it past him into the opposite corner. Manchester City still in this one. Alejandro Garnacho next up for Manchester United. Scorer of that breakthrough goal for Erik ten Hag in normal time. He will back himself in this situation. There's no shortage of confidence in this young Argentinian. Can he beat Ederson? Garnacho from the spot to make it 3 from 3 for Manchester United. Slow run up, and he smashes that one in the far right hand corner. Ederson the wrong way this time. Exactly what those United fans behind the goal were hoping to see. Comes back across himself. Ederson goes to his left. Garnacho keeps United on top. Erling Haaland up next for Manchester City. Their regular penalty taker, of course. And he's so deadly in these situations. Pep Guardiola needs him to be exactly that right now. Tarajile just having an extra word with him here. Not sure what that's doing for his concentration. Onana with a bit of S-housery, shall we call it. Haaland looks pretty much unfazed by that one. Big smile on the face of City's number 9 as he prepares for this one. Haaland for City, down the middle, and he manages to keep it just past Onana's body. Onana was helpfully pointing to his left there, where he was telling Haaland to put it. That's where Onana eventually ended up diving. Big smile on Onana's face as well. There's a bit of a good-natured aspect to that, but he surely was trying to put off Haaland. That was further in the corner than it initially looked from Haaland. It just rolled away from Onana as he dived. It's going to be Jadon Sancho next for United. Perfect so far from Erik ten Hag's team. Fernandez, Dalot, Garnacho. Sancho for number 4. He's only been on the pitch a few minutes. Can he find a way past Ederson here? Sancho, and it's saved by Ederson. Brilliant stop from the Manchester City keeper. Dive left, threw up a big hand to turn that one onto the post. And United have missed their first penalty of this shootout. Wasn't a bad effort from Sanchez. It was in that corner. But it was a big paw thrown up by Ederson. Just turns it onto the inside of the post. It almost looked as if it could spin back into the net. But Ederson, at a point where Manchester City really needed him, has kept out Jadon Sancho. Savinho, the Manchester City debutant, to take for City. Can he tie things up at 3 each after 4 penalties apiece? They take this one left-footed, but it's a very straight run-up that he's going for here against Onana. Savinho calmly just strokes that into the corner. Onana again goes left. Savinho just pops it in the opposite corner, and we are level. 3 penalties scored each, 1 miss apiece. Bernardo Silva for City, Jadon Sancho for Manchester United. The final penalties of the regulation 5, and it's going to be Casemiro for Manchester United. Hugely experienced Brazilian international. Imagine Erik ten Hag would have wanted him to go last, use all that nous that he has of these types of pressurised situations as he comes up against his Brazilian teammate. Casemiro from the spot, and Casemiro with the goal. Ederson to the right. Casemiro sends him the wrong way, right into the bottom corner. United have done their bit in the first 5 penalties, 4 out of 5. And City's final penalty taker needs to score to send this to sudden death. Bit of conversation going on here over who it will be, and it is going to be Ederson, from goalkeeper to potential goal scorer. Just a short trip from the goal line to the penalty spot, and Ederson's taken this, and he has firmly buried that past Andre Onana into the bottom left-hand corner of the goal. Onana goes right. Faultless there from Ederson. Backed himself to find the back of the net, and he does exactly that. And we are heading to sudden death. 4 penalties scored each out of 5. And it is Scottish international Scott McTominay to take on the mantle for Manchester United. McTominay against Ederson. And he fires it home. Ederson goes right. Scott McTominay just squeezes it into the side of the goal there. Really good finish from him. Ederson almost managed to get a fingertip on that one, but it's eventually a successful one for Scott McTominay. Matheus Nunes up next for City. Can he keep them on track? Andre Onana again with a few games. Referee Jared Gillett just with a quick word to tell him to keep it all sporting and fair. Matheus Nunes now, plenty of pressure on his shoulders here. Needs to score to keep Manchester City in this Community Shield. Nunes against Onana, and he blasts that into the top corner. Brilliant penalty for the Manchester City substitute. Onana goes low and right, and Nunes smashes it into the top corner above him. And we roll on. Penalty number 7 for Manchester United. The pendulum swings back towards the Red Devils, and it is going to be Copa America winner Lisandro Martinez. Bullish, confident competitor for Manchester United, number 6. Can he beat Ederson from the spot? A short run up here to take this left-footed. Martinez with the blitz, and that is a fine penalty. It looked as if he was going to go for a blaster. A little hop, skip and a jump. Ederson goes right. He just waits and waits. It's a really nice finish in the end. Pops it in the other corner. Puts the pressure back onto Manchester City. It is the captain, Ruben Diaz, to ensure that Pep Guardiola's team remain in the running here for a first Community Shield title since 2019. Ruben Diaz against Onana from the spot. Diaz with a little jog. And again, Onana to the right. Diaz just steers it into the empty net in the opposite corner. Both keepers have saved the penalty in the regulation 5. Onana keeping out Bernardo Silva, and Ederson denying Jadon Sancho. The sudden death spot kicks have been absolutely perfect. It's going to be Johnny Evans Penalty taker number 8 for Manchester United. The oldest player on the pitch. Years and years of Premier League experience. Can he score here? Evans, and he's clipped it over the bar. He tried to be too clever. He waited for Ederson to dive to his right. Possibility there that he was going for a Panenka, given his no-nonsense centre-back style. I don't know if that was maybe plan A. I think it's just a miscue as he's made contact with the ball. He tried to just side-foot it down the middle, but he's got it all wrong. He's ballooned it over the bar. And Manchester City now, if they can find the net with this penalty, it's going to be Manuel Akanji. They will start the season as the Community Shield winners. Akanji against Onana for the Community Shield for Manchester City. Big deep breath from Manuel Akanji. And Akanji with the drive off the bar and in. And Manchester City have done it. The 2024-25 FA Community Shield winners are Manchester City. Denied at the death, Manchester United, by Bernardo Silva's equaliser. Johnny Evans, the unfortunate sudden death penalty taker miss. And it is Manchester City that march into the new season with a piece of silverware. Manuel Akanji getting them over the line. Disappointment, of course, on the face of Erik ten Hag. He faces some big questions this season, but Pep Guardiola, in the final year of his contract here at Manchester City, starts the season with a bang. Full time here on Flash Score. It is Manchester City on penalties who claim the FA Community Shield. That's all for today's game. We'll be back next weekend with the start of the Premier League season. Don't forget to check it out then, and we will catch you very soon.